and thanks for staying with us. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service speaks of training of officers all over the country. Also on customs report, customs continue to speak on the movement of vehicles at the border. Plus, more report. I am Igeseme Otiye. Stay tuned. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has said that customs will continue to train officers around the country. He made a pledge in Abuja when he was speaking in one of the training in Abuja.
The Comptroller General of Customs, CGC, Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, has emphasized the critical role of intelligence in modern customs operations, charging officers of the Customs Intelligence Units, CIU, to prioritize intelligence in their professional conduct. According to him, no modern security or revenue operation can succeed without timely, credible, and well-applied intelligence. Speaking during the opening ceremony of the training program for CIU officers at the Nigerian Customs Command and Staff College, NCCSC, Gwagalada, the Adeniyi described the program as a crucial moment that could shape the professional outlook of participants. He urged participants to see the new year as an opportunity to make tangible contributions to the service and the country.
In any military or paramilitary environment, intelligence is at the core, is at the heart of our operation. They are very, very central, and I will encourage you to take a second look at the paper. The address that was provided by your controller, it stated just about everything that you need to know and that you need to do. So I will not congratulate those of you that have been selected. I only welcome you to this new chapter in your career. For so many of you, this is not the first attempt you have made to join CIU. You possibly have made attempts in the past and it has not worked out. Now you have found yourself in CIU. So many of you, you have lobbied, and I stand here to acknowledge the fact that several lobbyists have come to me on your behalf. You are used to doing intelligence work in the traditional way. There are traditional sources where you source your intelligence. Basically, you make use of informants. But you now know that this has gone with the past, because you know when you start your course, they are going to be telling you about the limitation of relying exclusively on informants. The environments in which we live now have thrown up so many other resources through which we can generate our intelligence. There is data from trade, just trade data that you can see and you can analyze. So analysis of trade data throws a lot of intelligence for you that can, lead to actionable intelligence that Nigeria Customs Service can pursue and make some impact. There is business intelligence. Of course, there are lots of open source on the internet, in the newspapers, in the websites, where you can get intelligence about what is happening in the world of trade. I just talked about news, major news item that is evolving. You'll get to learn a lot through these places. Nigeria Customs Service has set up a Geospatial Intelligence Unit. I'm very sure that some of you may have heard about it. It used to be domiciled in ICT. Now we've moved it to enforcement. And you also get a lot of intelligence because that is a fusion center that takes a lot of information from different sources and then they put them together to generate intelligence. Of course, you know that we are also setting up a laboratory. Through the laboratory, you are going to be getting a lot of intelligence about classification. But in specific terms, we also know that the WCO at different times, they also meet through their classification committee, and they consider issues, they consider tariff disputes across, and they take decisions, and this form some forms of intelligence. I therefore sympathize with those of you who are coming to CIU thinking that it will just be the same CIU that you used to know. Things have changed, and you now have to learn to move with modern times. It is already obvious that there might be a dissonance. There could be a difference between our motivations. The motivation that is bringing you to CIU may not be the same as the one that your controller has, because I have given your controller a charge. And it is important that during this period, there must be an alignment. And if there is no alignment between our motivations, if there is no alignment between our interests, the CIU will not be a place for you.
Furthermore, reflecting on recent global and domestic security developments, the CGC referenced military and security interventions across different regions, including operations within Nigeria that led to the interception of arms and ammunition. He stressed that intelligence remains the common thread behind every successful military or paramilitary operation.
You are to take your training very, very seriously throughout this period. Your training is important. Of course, you know that your training is very, very important. Your training instructors have been carefully assembled in such a way that they will impact all the knowledge that you need, and they will bring out the best out of you in such a way that we also know how to deploy you in the final analysis at the end of the training.
The Customs Intelligence Unit occupies a unique and strategic position within the architecture of the service. In a time defined by evolving security threats, sophisticated trade fraud, and heightened expectations on revenue generation, intelligence is no longer a support function. It is the backbone of effective enforcement, policy coherence, and strategic decision-making. You are therefore stepping into a responsibility that is delicate and consequential. Let me be clear. Intelligence work is not about visibility or spectacle. It is about vigilance. It is about disciplined observation, rigorous analysis, and the courage to report the truth as it is, untainted by sentiment, bias, pressure, or convenience. The quality of intelligence you generate will directly influence management decisions, operational developments, revenue outcomes, and ultimately, national security. This sacred trust must never be compromised. Your role as intelligence operatives places you at the intersection of three critical national imperatives: security, revenue generation, and trade facilitation. These are not competing objectives. They are mutually reinforcing pillars of a modern customs administration as champions by the Controller General of Customs. Effective intelligence strengthens border security, seals revenue leakages, and ensures that legitimate trade flows without bottlenecks. Where intelligence fails, insecurity thrives. Revenue is lost, and trade becomes distorted. As you commence training to assume these responsibilities, you must also understand the broader context within which you serve. Under the leadership of the Contingent of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, the service has recorded notable gains in revenue performance, operational reforms, automation, and stakeholder engagement.
The role of intelligence in modern customs administration cannot be overstated. Across the world, customs services are no longer defined merely by border checks or revenue collection, but by their ability to anticipate threats, to disrupt illicit trade, protect national security, and safeguard economic interests through actionable intelligence. You, the officers assembled here today, have been carefully selected for this training because the service has identified in you the qualities required for intelligence work.
During your stay here, the service has made a deliberate effort to ensure you have access to resources required for effective learning. They include seasoned facilitators, relevant training materials, and suitable accommodation. While the level of comfort may differ from what you have accustomed to, it is designed to sharpen your focus and strengthen your resolve. I encourage you to set aside all distractions and devote your full attention to the training, because transformation occurs when commitment meets discipline.
The customs controller in charge of FOU Zone A has said that his men will continue to work according to later rules as approved by government. He said that the Nigerian Customs Service will make sure that any consignment brought into the country through unapproved route will be seized by the unit. He has this to say.
Our key focus areas would include, among others, A. Enhanced enforcement operations. We shall intensify intelligence-driven operations to combat smuggling and all forms of illicit trade that threaten national security and economic growth. B. Professional conduct and discipline. High standards of ethics, discipline, and integrity. Also, accountability will remain non-negotiable. Every officer must ensure that their actions reflect the core values of the service. C. Stakeholder collaboration. We will deepen collaboration with sister agencies, community leaders, and the trading public to strengthen border security and facilitate lawful trade. D. Capacity building and welfare. The motivation and welfare of officers will be prioritized to ensure improved efficiency and operational readiness. My doors will remain open to the officers and men of the unit. I encourage teamwork, constructive ideas, and transparency in all dealings. Together, we shall continue to strengthen the reputation of the Federal Operational Unit Zone A as a formidable enforcement unit and a dependable protector of Nigeria's socio-economic interests. To our strategic partners, stakeholders, and the trading public, I shall ensure that justice, equity, and fairness guide our actions at all times. Our operations will be underpinned on three cardinal objectives. A. Change management. B. Compliance management. C. Reputational management. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I call on everyone to join hands with me as we commence this new chapter. With unity of purpose, dedication, and the fear of God, we will excel beyond expectations. In addition, to our partners in the media, we recognize your important role as allies in public information and national development. We shall continue to engage with you responsibly and professionally to ensure accurate and timely dissemination of information that reflects our core mandate. Once again, I appreciate the outgoing controller, the ACG, sir, for a smooth transition and exceptional stewardship that has paid off. We wish him continued success in his future responsibilities.
You are watching the program Customs Report.
I see the WCO as a member-driven organization. Some of the priorities of our members are reflected in the new strategic plan.
What does being appointed WCO Council Chairperson mean for your country and your customs administration?
So I must say, it represents an honor for me. It's also a kind of recognition for the customs administration of Nigeria. We've been undertaking a number of reforms, modernization programs in the last 2 years. So it will also mean that this appointment is a kind of a validation of the reforms that we are doing. It's a kind of endorsement by the global customs community that we are on track and we are aligning our priorities with that of the World Customs Organization. So I feel so excited. Of course, I know that it's also a very big responsibility on my part and on the part of Nigeria for us to shoulder this, and provide quality leadership for the world customs community.
And speaking of the global customs community, what for you makes the WCO a unique organization?
WCO is an organization that represents a convergence for a number of interrelated issues. So economic prosperity, national security, environmental sustainability, and WCO over the years has proven that it could provide a very strong rallying point for all customs administrations. It has managed to remain focused as a functional organization, an organization that has navigated the difficult, terrains of international politics and has remained very, very relevant.
From your experience working in customs, which WCO initiative or program has had the most transformative impact on your administrations?
I take the example of the Authorized Economic Operator Program. I must really acknowledge the guidance we got from WCO and of course the sponsorship of our partners to help us in the build-up towards implementation. So this has proven to be a kind of a game-changing intervention for us, helping us to raise revenue, helping us to reduce clearance time in our ports, and more importantly, helping us to build trusted partnerships with compliant traders. The safe framework of standards has been very, very transformative and game-changing for us. We've launched advanced rulings. We've just concluded a TRS program. So for me, these are all things that have helped us to change the narrative in Nigeria.
What one message would you have for the global customs community?
The most important feature of the WCO lies in the nature of our diversity. So our uniqueness is our strength, and we should allow this diversity to continue to create opportunity and progress for us.
The Western Marine Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has done it again in a major anti-smuggling operation. The command intercepted 20 sacks of cannabis indica worth a whopping 157.8 million naira. The illicit drugs were cleverly concealed and smuggled into the country through the waterways, but the vigilant officers of the command were not fooled. Addressing the press, Comptroller Patrick Ntadi, Area Comptroller of Customs, Western Marine Command, praised this team's efforts.
We are disappointed with the fact that people still revert to the use of drugs. We are equally happy to be arresting it because we are depriving those people from using it, and then we're making sure that this country moves in a straight line. Apart from cannabis, I wanted to highlight the things we have been able to achieve all through the last year since I took over. I think myself and my officers, we put in a whole lot of energy, passion, and every other thing to make sure that we make last year a very, very successful year for us. And I'm glad to tell you that we did. The Controller General, during the Controller General's conference, recognized Western Marine team and awarded us the Team Excellence Award among the whole commands in the country. This is actually based on the fact that we were able to do a whole lot of things. Despite our limitations, we were able to achieve so many things. You may not know the intrigues that happen in the waters. You may not know the intrigues, and I don't think it's necessary to go into it. But any person that goes into the water to enforce the law does so at a whole lot of peril. But in spite of that, we're still able to make a lot of achievements.
I'm here to present the sixth consignment that the Nigerian Customs Service Western Marine Command has made recently. And this is consignment of 20 sacks of cannabis indica, which is quite different from cannabis sativa. Now this weighs 601 kg and is about 1,205 loaves of cannabis indica. So this was actually achieved through the unwavering efforts by officers during their routine patrol, by shared intelligence, and we're able to make this seizure. Of course, this shows you how, just like the controller said during the press conference, how we've worked so hard to ensure that the waterways are free from illicit drugs and trafficking of drugs as well. So this cannabis that have been seized will actually be handed over to the lead agency, which is Nigerian National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA.
I'm here to acknowledge the receipt of 20 bags of cannabis. The investigation will commence and the outcome will determine what the exhibit will be. Though there are no suspects, the only thing is available before us is for us to confile the case file, seek the approval from the Federal High Court for the destructions, which every one of you here will be invited for.
The Semi-Customs Command has seen that smuggling of items into the country will not be allowed as the later rules as approved by government. The controller also said that customs will continue to have quite a relationship with importers operating at the borderline.
The CGC operational philosophy that smuggling is an economic sabotage which robs the nation of vital revenue and endanger public welfare. Our position is clear along the Lagos-Abidjan that any economic resources diverted into smuggling will be a colossal waste. Please sound that warning to the smugglers. It's a colossal waste. We will continue to go after you, and anything we arrest is a waste on your part. It will be better to channel such resources into a legitimate business that could empower thousands of small and medium-scale enterprise and create jobs. It is worthy of note to commend the Nigerian forces, especially the Nigerian Navy, for their support in the fight against smuggling. We have a strong collaboration with the Nigerian Armed Forces. The Navy have been doing wonderfully well, the FOB. All the rice they intercepted on the waterway were handed over to us. The NNFOB that has fought Badagry has demonstrated that we are partners in this fight against smuggling by severally handing over foreign parboiled rice intercepted and seized on the waterways and its surrounding. We really appreciate them for that. Under the visionary leadership of the CGC Bashir Adewale Adeniyi MFR, the Semi-Area Command remain resolute in balancing the triad of revenue generation, trade facilitation, and national security. We shall continue to enhance our operational efficiency through technology, stakeholder cooperation, and proactive intelligence. Our collective mission is to ensure that Semen-Krake border remain a gateway of prosperity, not criminality. A gateway of prosperity, not criminality. Together with our partners and stakeholders, we are building a smarter, safer, and more prosperous border corridor in full alignment with the CGC modernization blueprints.
Just before I round up this week edition of the program Custom Support, we brought you a report where the CG of Nigerian Customs Service has continued to preach about happiness around the service, plus the training of officers in the country. For me, Igeseme Itiye, thanks for watching.